And hello, you guys. It is me, Emily, back again with this week's video. Now, I had taken this video before, but some stuff has changed. Before, I was talking about the little unexpected things that happened, but things have changed since then. I've noted and noticed more unexpected things. So I just decided to retake it and to include everything else that I've seen. So anyway, first of all, let's start with the good news. The larvae have been pupating. That is a pupating, or is a pupa mealworm beetle, or mealworm. There are 3 of them. There's another right there. And then the third is I believe it's over here somewhere. But anyway, you can also see some sheds down there in some of the little areas. But yeah, anyway, we're just going to be putting this back on, zooming out a little bit. This tank is doing great. I'm going to have to take out some of that stuff in there, though. Not in the video, off camera. All the ants seem to be doing fine. And that leads us to this tank. So there have been a few things happening unexpectedly. So first of all, we're going to check up on the shrimp, of course. Well, I do know that one of them is right up there. Well, before I could spot all 3. But anyway, moving on to the side of the tank. You may see that these little blobs right here, those are actually snail eggs. Or at least, I'm going to turn off the light so that I don't get any glare. Or not, at least not as much. Just so that, and also so that we can just see them a little bit better. You can even see like the little individual embryos in there. Or maybe those are just the eggs and they're kind of coated in this weird clear gloopy stuff. Kind of like a frog egg, except the middle is white instead of black, like in frog eggs. But now, let's go even smaller. And you're probably wondering, how can we get smaller than a clump of snail eggs? Well, first of all, an individual snail egg. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you about. There are... Alright, so up here. Once I can get this thing to focus. Well, there are some tiny little worms that are in here. And I was hoping that I could get a good picture, but apparently I cannot. Oh, there we go. You see them? Right there. Oh, I just had them in that little focus blip. But anyway, they're there. And then going even smaller. And no, I'm not talking about eggs this time. I'm talking about, well, first of all, please leave in the comment section below what kind of worm that you think they are. They're very small. I don't believe them to be parasitic, or else I probably wouldn't be seeing them. Also, there's been some weird growth on the Anubias ever since I moved them in. So if you all can also please leave that in the comments, what it is. It may be algae, it may be a disease, I'm not entirely sure. It could just be its reaction from the shock of moving. But anyway, now going even smaller than the worms are tiny little moving dots. Now you all are probably seeing a bunch of tiny little moving dots. But I'm talking about tiny little moving dots with a purpose. And if I could catch one on camera, that'd be really nice. Sorry, I was just getting some hair off the phone. They're really small and they're really hard to find. And you can see one right there. Or at least I could. Maybe you could. It left, I think. It left that spot. I think it'll be easiest to spot them while filming with... I think it'll be easiest to spot them when they're moving. Because they move in... They kind of look like... Have you ever seen a Daphnia, a water flea, moving? Where it kind of just jumps around. Well, that's kind of what these guys do. These guys live in all sorts of different aquatic and marine environments. There are different... One moment, please. Yeah, I'm not going to take the steps right now for my Fitbit. But anyway, yeah, they move really jagged in like little bursts. However, they can just kind of scoot along the glass ever so slightly. And yes, some of these little guys may actually be Daphnia. Hopefully, they don't cause any problems. But if you haven't figured out what it is by now, I'm talking about copepods. Yes, copepods. They're very small at the bottom of the food chain most of the time. Feeding on tiny little microscopic bits of organic matter. And are very hard to find. Now, if I could find one near enough to the surface, I might actually try to get it up, and if I had extra microscope slides, put it on the microscope slide and show it to you guys. Via the phone. Or microscope. And there's one there. No, not the snail. Oh, no. Oh, you jetted away. And the smaller they are, the more fluent the movement is. But it's still a little bit jagged. And a real big giveaway is when they go against the current. Oh, there's one. Where? Do you see it? The moving dot right in the center there. Wait for it. Boom, there it goes. Do you see it? It's right over here. Luckily, I am getting a macro lens for Christmas, or at least hopefully, and that'll be an unboxing video. Oh. There it is. Do you see it? It's right there. It's right, that center one. Right there. That's it. Do you see it? Do you see it? I did not think I was going to be able to film one. But we got lucky, I guess. Or at least not one with that much definition where you could really see it. Wow. Well, that was a stroke of luck, you guys. That was crazy. And you all get much better reviews of these Copepods once I get a macro lens, if I get a macro lens. For Christmas, there'll be an unboxing video. For sure. Or maybe not an unboxing video, since I'm probably going to be opening it in front of my parents, grandparents, aunt. Not these aunts. My aunt. My other aunt. My aunt. A-U-N-T, not just A-N-T. Gotta have that U in there. Two things I love, and they're spelled so similarly and sounds so much like each other? I don't know. And sound so similar, I guess. As you can tell, I'm not the best at English. Anyway, that was a stroke of luck, you guys. I'm glad that you were able to see one in action. Thank you so much for watching. Please do remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified of all my future uploads. I try to upload weekly. And yeah. And please remember to comment what you think the worms are and what you think is happening to my Anubias. And maybe even if you can, try to identify the copepods. But I think I'm going to ask you to do that once I use a macro lens and get a good view. But yeah, anyway, you guys, make sure to share this video with your friends, enemies, and frenemies. And I'll see you all in the next one. Emma Lunchford out.